Chummy,
Yeah.
I like to think of us as strong, independent women. We don't need no mans. However, there was a truly gallant experience that happened online last week. We had this reel that went viral, which was a little take from our last year's show. It was us dressed up country western and we sang a parody version of This Kiss about kids. And, those of you who follow us on Instagram will know it went very viral and it reached the wrong part of the internet.
It sure did.
Middle, deep America, where they were very upset with us that we would ever speak badly about parenting. Anyway, Show Daddy.
Oh, Show Daddy.
Just
rode on in.
Clopped into the comments section on his white horse and just systematically came to our defense on every single mean comment. He just went in there and took them down in the most savage and hilarious way.
I just love that he took it so personally on our behalf.
He did. He really went and defended us.
He did.
In the mean internet.
He's a valiant man.
He's valiant,
Yes.
and it was lovely. And Show Daddy, we love you, and
Thank you for caring.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
caring.
fighting misogyny with us, alongside us, and being an ally.
True ally on a white horse, Sir Show Daddy. Shall we do this episode?
Yes.
We have 1,000 things to do, but we'd rather chat to you. With emails and meetings and husbands and kids, we don't have time for this. Just what you need, two basic bitches with a podcast.
Hello and welcome to We Don't Have Time for This. I'm your host, Gemma Pranita, aka Gemma Pina on the gram, along with my co-host,
Kate Revz. Hello.
DLs. Have you got your tickets? Yes, Sydney sold out in a ridiculous amount of time, 10 minutes, all 4 shows. Revz and I honestly cried over it.
Yeah,
we could not believe it. It was a real pinch me moment. We are touched beyond measure by how much you guys care. We're also very, very excited that a number of DLs are getting their opera house show cherry popped
Yes.
with our show.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be
know.
your first opera house live show experience.
very, very fun. Very fun.
That's not lost on us.
Now, also a massive shout out to some other cities. It's not just Sydney who went bananas. Brisbane. Oh my goodness, there was pandemonium. However, I just want to let Bris people or Queenslanders know.
Bris vegans.
And Queenslanders know that, look, Ticketek is the ticket portal that is used at that venue, and it's clunky. People put things in their carts and then it looks completely sold out and then things go back on. So if you missed out in Brisbane, please check again.
Yeah.
Because there are still a smattering of tickets for one of the shows.
Yeah, it's the Sunday
show.
Yes.
Not many, but there are a couple. So
Saturday is sold out.
Yeah.
But no, there is, as Rev said, a smattering of tickets left.
Same in Perth. I mean, one of the shows is pretty much gone, but the other one, there are some tickets. Same in Melbourne. One's pretty much gone, but there are a few on the first night, opening night. May I suggest you come roll up for that one?
And we're in a new venue, Melburnians, this
very
time
sexy.
around. So it is going to be our first rodeo at the Malt House, which is such a vibe.
And then lastly, I just want to say London, there's not that many tickets left, but if you are in the UK or if you're in Europe and you want to come and be with the DLs, there are a few tickets left for our show in St Pancras at the Shaw Theatre. Come and be with the Euro contingent. All the VIDL are gone. That went very fast, but there are still general admission tickets. A lot of people are making a weekend out of it.
I cannot believe, Revs. We have someone flying in from Lisbon.
Yeah, Germany.
From Berlin.
Yeah.
It didn't even dawn on me that people would fly in from Europe, because we're on a big island over in Australia that's far from the rest of the world. And then I thought, oh my God, of course, in Europe and the UK,
that's what you do.
people spend their weekends in completely different countries. That would just never happen for us here in Australia.
I've got family coming from Scotland.
I've got family coming from Nottingham and Reading.
So exciting. It's going to be a really special show. We're just pumped. Hope you get your tickets. Please, I don't want to hear it from you when you miss out, okay? You've had plenty of warning. Go get them before they're gone. We've never had tickets sell this fast. So You just got to get them now before we start pumping out the content and they're all gone.
Permission to pivot for a second.
Please.
I just want to thank the DLs for all the lovely DMs I received off the back of last week's episode about all my shadow work around cooking. It sounds so absurd to say that, but it's true. And some of you really understood the contradiction between thriving in routine, but the monotony of routine is utterly suffocating. And like learning that really resonated with a lot of people was really cool, because I thought that was just a me thing, a thing unique to me. Turns out it isn't. I'm also really appreciative of tips, cooking tips. I've had a lot of those. I will say it's somewhat overwhelming because I've got a lot of cooking tips and I've been sent to a lot of Instagram pages and a lot of recipes, which I love. And I've actually saved them all in a little folder on my phone. But
never to be opened again.
No, I revisit my folders on my Instagram. It's screenshots on my phone that I never revisit. I'll screenshot something like that. See you never. But I am happy to report that Revz and I had a cooking sesh.
Yes, we did.
We're really honoured to be working with Marley Spoon, who are a huge key sponsor of our tour.
Yes.
And we're very grateful for them coming on board.
They jumped on when we were like, hey, Gem needs to learn to cook. Here's an opportunity with the live show. And they leapt. And we are very grateful to them for bringing the show around the country.
And right now I'm being singularly focused and I am learning to cook through Marley Spoon.
Yes.
This isn't Spawn. Well, it is Spawn, but us talking about it right now isn't. But I am loving the ease of it.
Yeah.
The step by step. It's paint by numbers. That's what I've learned. I'm like, okay, you can do this, Gem. But now I'm scared to deviate. Like Revz mentioned another recipe and I was like, which Marley Spoon? She's like, oh, babe, it's not Marley Spoon. I'm like, well, I can't.
Don't talk to me about it.
Don't talk to me because right now I'm on one train.
You got to learn to walk before you run.
Yes.
It's fine. And DLs, I can report two things. One, I don't believe I was fully aware of just how inexperienced Gem was in the kitchen until we started cooking. Like the way she held a carrot rivaled Kendall Jenner and her cucumber. I was like, what are you doing? Like I said, okay, so you cut up that carrot.
Well, it said actually on the Marley Spoon instructions, slice carrot in half.
Yep. So she took the carrot by the base.
Yeah.
And she put it on its tip. Like what?
And then cut downwards. For me, that felt logical. I now appreciate
it's super dangerous.
How misguided I was.
And speaking of dangerous, she doesn't have any of the things you need to know about working with like hot oil. And we had some mishaps, but that's okay. By our third cook, we cooked 3 meals. And by our third cook, I saw the confidence growing. So she's off and away.
Well, I know how to cut zucchinis now. I'd never cut a zucchini in my life.
There we go.
And now I've cut one 3 times.
May sound just like a zucchini, but it's not about the zucchini, is it, guys? It's a healing journey. Anyway, talk about your response to the polls.
Oh, DLs. First of all, thank you for participating in our polls because I love data and I find it quite helpful. But there was some data that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I can't get past how many of you cook 5 to 6 nights a week. Revz is looking at me like, Gem, that is completely normal.
Yeah.
Because I just microwave food. Yeah. And now I'm quite disgusted with myself.
Oh, that's great.
Is it?
Yeah, that's great. You know how we talk about like when we're training the kids, toilet training? Just a tiny little sprinkling of shame, quite useful.
Okay.
I feel like this is
That's
good.
healthy shame.
Healthy shame.
It's not toxic shame.
It's not like,
healthy shame.
I don't want to hear that negative self-talk. I'm like, yeah, Gem, that's pretty normal to cook 6 nights a week. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think it's good.
Shooketh.
Disgusted is an intense term, but let's go with it. Healthy shame.
Okay. On the health front, I'm also thoroughly enjoying seeing what ingredients make up a meal because obviously I have no idea. I just know what I like from a taste POV and also, that looks nice, looks appetizing. And then to kind of reverse engineer a meal has been really cool. And there's something really nice about seeing each ingredient and knowing what's going into your food.
Yes. Also, you were surprised by the mindfulness of cooking.
No, you brought my attention to that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, because you were like much calm. By the third cook, you were calm.
Revz was like, you
were
do realize
chatting.
you're humming?
You were humming, yeah.
And I was like, am I? She's like, look at you practicing mindfulness. You're like
Yeah.
humming.
it's just a really nice thing. It's like a little
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
As you said, add the element of kids running around in a time crunch and it will be a little different. But you've got
Okay.
this. You've got this.
Well, I appreciated you taking some time to walk me through it.
Of course.
Because I learn by doing,
Yes.
not by watching. And I needed someone to watch me do it, but because I would never get to the doing part if I didn't feel like I was doing it right.
Yeah.
And as I learnt by trying to cut a carrot incorrectly, that I was doing it wrong.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah, Revz was getting quite upset about how I grate a carrot.
It's been a good reminder for me to really involve my kids in meal prep. That's the other poll that shooketh you. We asked you guys how many of you meal prep, and it was in the 80s.
No, it was 70%, which
Oh,
is
okay.
an enormous percentage of people.
Yeah.
Like meal prepping? Like when?
Sunday.
Do you-
It's got to be Sunday.
Wait, do you
I meal prep on Sundays. Yeah. I
for
love it.
the whole week?
Yeah, it doesn't normally, I don't know. I don't do like Monday, Tuesday. You know, some people do like
Yeah.
literally they've got 7 dishes
Yeah.
and they do their 7 lunches and then they do their 7 dinners or whatever. Like,
On a Sunday?
yeah.
Wow.
No, but think about the space that gives you for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
It's really, it's helping future you out in a really good way. And you save money and it's very healthy and all those things.
Yeah.
No, I do more of a haphazardy meal prep. Like I prep ingredients. So I've always got roasted veggies and I've always got salady bits and I've got like some dressings and like some meat.
So good.
Just so I can bundle, like
Yeah.
I can like build stuff that's healthy.
Well, one thing I am excited by was the portion size. Again, it sounds not spawn. I'm sorry, guys. I'm making this sound like an ad, and it's not me. I'm not meaning to, but like the Marley Spoon meal servings are so huge that
Yeah.
we had so many leftovers. And do you know what I did, Revzy? I went and bought brand new Tupperware,
Yeah, good.
like
Great.
glass
Yep.
Tupperware, and like big, so I can
Nice.
fit lots of leftovers.
Beautiful.
Not just like because I've only ever had tiny containers. And that felt really good. Like I feel like I'm really, really trying to set myself up for success.
Great. Guys, I actually want to do a bit of a call out for the Facebook group. What is the thing in your life that you've kind of missed until now and you're getting too old to keep avoiding it? You know, for Jem, it's cooking. For me, it was finances until only just a couple of years ago. Like what's the thing in your life that you've been like, I've kind of been able to slip around the edges of doing this
Yeah.
thing and now I'm cresting 40 and it's fucking time to learn to, I don't know, clean my house or maybe or change a tire or like, what is the thing? that
I've got
you
a
have avoided?
girlfriend who turned 40 last year and she still doesn't know how to drive.
Oh, wow.
And do you know what? I thought this was legit because I can agree, but she was saying the problem is now the older you get, the more fearful
100%.
you are. She's like, had
100%.
I learnt when I was 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, when you think you're invincible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's like, now, not only am I 40, but I have 2 young children. So
Yeah.
I'm not just driving me.
Yeah.
I'm driving little people.
Oof.
And it's really stressing her out. But she has a lot of negative self-talk around this. And I'm like, honey, you lived in London
Yeah.
for a long time where you didn't need a car. You lived in Central City, Sydney, where you also got away with not having a car. But now that you're in the Northern Beaches and your 2 kids are doing more
You need a
extracurricular
car, yeah.
activities, you know, because she would do like a 2-hour bus ride to get her kids to their extracurricular activities. And I'm like, there's a better way. Her husband obviously does the lion's share of transport in their family. He has to, and she carries guilt about that.
Well, yeah, I would be like, I would really struggle if my partner couldn't help out with that stuff.
Well, he puts absolutely no pressure on her at all.
that's
He's a bit of a
amazing.
unicorn husband. He's quite amazing like that. He's like, learn if you want or not. Like, I'm okay
Wow.
with it. She's putting that pressure on herself, and now it's mounting to a point
Yeah.
of paralysis where she's
How
like,
old are her kids?
exact same as mine.
Yeah,
7
so
and
it's
4.
time.
Yeah.
It's only going to get busier.
Exactly. So she's like, I need to learn to drive. And I've been like, I'll teach you. Do
Yeah.
you want to, like, I like to think I'd be a good teacher
Yeah.
of driving, and I'll take you out, and it doesn't have to be a big scary thing. I can talk you through it. I've got tips. You know,
Yeah.
I had a great driving coach. I look at her and I'm like, I want to give her a hug because I'm like, oh my God, it's Jem with cooking. Like, I see
it's
myself.
just that big mountain that you've always gone,
Yes,
I'm just
you've
gonna-
avoided.
Just going to drive around the base of that mountain. I'm not going to scale that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all got something. We've
We all
all
do.
got something.
Do you know what I don't have time for?
What don't you have time for?
I don't have time for my wasted list of baby names that I love that I'll never get to use.
Oh my God.
I've been wanting to have this chat for a long time, DLs.
Yes.
And you know what? I appreciate that while we have DLs, OG DLs who have grown with Revz and I over the course of the last 4, nearly 5 years on the podcast, we have a lot of newbie DLs who have newborns or are pregnant with their first. A lovely DL actually slid into our DMs and said, I'm so excited. I'm finally coming to one of your live shows, but this time I'll have a newborn. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Is it your first? She's like, it's my first. I'm
Wow.
like, you know, motherhood's
Yeah.
coming right up for you. And yeah, it got me thinking about baby names because we actually touched on a bestie hotline about someone regretting their child's name and then pivoting and changing it. But it got me thinking, Revs, like, gun to the head.
Oh.
If you gave birth tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
let's start with a baby girl. What would you name her?
Sadie.
Cute.
It was my name for Teddy.
Yes, it
and
was.
I do think about it often. I find it hard to let go because it's definitely I've met a few Sadies, but it's still unique-ish. You know, like, and at the time I was like, it's actually a super old name. Like, it's like biblical old.
Yeah, but old names are coming back, like
Yes.
Audrey.
Yeah. Well,
is
no, but this
back.
is like biblical.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's actually the original Sarah. Sarah turned the Sadie turned into
Ah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
I love that name, and I always thought I would have Isla and Sadie, and I don't at all long for another daughter. I'm like so happy with the kids I have. I don't want any more babies. I have no baby fever. I'm not clucky, but I do love that name, Sadie. And it would be easy for me. It would definitely be my baby name, even though for Isla I had like 5 girl names, and
What were they?
so I knew Blue was going to be her middle name, so it had to go with that.
I think middle names are its own category. Don't you
Totally,
reckon?
but I knew it was going to be Blue,
Yeah.
so the first name had to sort of work with Blue. I kind
Okay.
of went that way.
yeah. I love that.
So it was Isla and Poppy was the second one.
Poppy Blue.
Yeah, and Poppy just
Isla
would have
Blue.
really suited her. Poppy Blue for me was a little cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, it was
or
like
or Poppy Blue as in Grandpa Blue. You know how people call their grandpa's pop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just a bit like kids' cartoon character Poppy Blue, but
It is until it isn't.
It
and then
is
it
until it
feels
isn't.
completely
Yeah.
normal.
Daisy.
Really?
Mhm.
I am shook.
Daisy really kept coming back to me, and I was because I just love it as a name.
It's a beautiful name, but it's not one that I imagine you championing for one of your own kids.
Yeah.
That shocks me.
Yeah, so it was Isla, Poppy, Daisy. 4th was Andy,
Oh, yeah. That's cool. Like Andy
Yeah,
McDowell.
like Andy McDowell.
Yeah,
for a
spelled
girl.
I-E.
I-E.
Yeah, cute.
And then the 5th one, fucking Rogue, and I didn't have any buy-in from my husband, but I loved it, but I had to shelve it because he was like, absolutely not, was Friday,
Love Friday.
which I love, and Isla knows that was on the list and is so mad at me that that's not
Yeah.
her name. She
She's-
thinks it's really cool.
It is a cool name.
And she was born on a Friday, which was, you couldn't, like, if that was actually her name, like, you couldn't engineer that because she was, you know, she's born at 4 a.m.
I'm not going to lie. If I was Isla, I'd be railing
Yeah.
against you too. I'd be like, why didn't you call me Friday? It's a sick
know.
name, Friday Blue. Like,
I know, it's sick.
it's amazing.
It's cool. And Fry, you could be Fry.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a sick name, pretty unique, but also not reinventing the wheel. It's sort of in
Yeah.
the same realm as Sunday
Yeah.
or January Jones, like, you know, those kind of datey names, which
Yeah.
I always like.
I know a little April. She's
Love
Iggy's
April.
bestie. Yeah.
Love all the months.
Yeah.
And all the
August.
seasons. Yeah, beautiful. Love all those kind of ones. And I was always like, can you call her Friday if she's born on a Tuesday?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's like, can you call her April if she's born in
well,
July?
Iggy's April is born in December.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
doesn't matter. But yeah, July's a cool name. I think of Annie when I hear that. There's a character called July. It's a great name. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. They were my like 5. And I remember because I used to write them out like when I was pregnant all the time. And like, but Isla it just really was always the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of them were that, I mean, apart from Friday, none of them were that like unique or interesting. They were just sort of, the vibe.
Okay. What if, gun to the head, you gave birth to a boy tomorrow? What are we calling him?
A boy?
Mm-hmm. Boys'
I've-
names are
I
hard.
just have, boys' names have never come to me. And Teddy was kind of the only name. Like Theodore was it. I again, my rogue one was Fox. I loved it. My husband was like, absolutely not.
Your
then I
husband
tried
was
to,
gunning for Elliot.
He loved Elliot.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
And I love that name, but I was like, I can't explain this. It's not my kid. Like, I think it's a beautiful name, but it's not my child.
But there's some nostalgia there from E.T.
Yes.
and the character Elliot.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
I can't imagine Teddy as an Elliot
He's
at
not
all.
an
I can
Elliot.
absolutely imagine Isla as a Poppy or a Friday,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't imagine Teddy as an Elliot.
No, he's Teddy.
Yeah, he
He's-
just is, isn't he?
And shame, that he's Teddy R because he's in an era of a lot of Teddys. Some of them are Edwards. Some of them are Theodores. Some of them are just Teds, but
I often
there's a lot of
forget that
Teddys.
Teddy's derivative of Edward as well as Theodore.
Yes, but, we've got a couple of really good close friends who are Theodore. So he's Teddy R. So
Teddy
much
R.
so that he's got this mate called Flynn. And in the football team, there's so many like Teddy R, Teddy S, Teddy whatever. That Flynn's like, can I be Flynn K? Even though there's no other Flynns.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, Flynn is a great name. Actually, maybe I'll just take Flynn. Can I
Flynn's a
steal?
cool
Can I
name.
steal from a friend? I think Flynn is a really cool name. It's a cool kid's name.
Yeah.
And it's a cool adult name. Like I
Yeah.
think with boys' names they can be both gender names, I guess. Some names can like really suit a baby, toddler, little kid, but then you're like, I can't imagine that growing with them into adulthood.
Yeah.
But of course it will, but
They do.
yeah.
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 And it's completely normal.
Yeah.
I always find it funny when someone names their kid in 2025 a trending name from our era.
Me too.
Like I met a little baby once and his name was Michael.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh, Michael. Yeah, right. Like that's back, is it? But it's not. It's actually not. But it just felt really like
that jars
old
me
school.
more than like a wacky name.
Yes,
Like a
yes,
wacky name,
like an
I'm-
atlas, which
yeah,
is not
or
wacky,
a holiday or
but
a
it's
whatever. I'm like, hey, holiday.
Oh, holidays on my
Oh,
gun to
love
the
it.
head if I had a girl tomorrow. It's funny. I
Would suit
was
you.
also like, oh my God, Sadie is also up there for me
Yeah.
in my top 3 of if I had a girl tomorrow. I would really have to consider between Sadie and Holiday. But weirdly, I don't love the nickname Hol.
Yeah. Well, I know a holiday whose nickname is Daisy.
Yeah, but I don't like Daisy either because it's
Okay.
like if you're going to nickname your kid Daisy,
Call
you
them
call
Daisy.
them Daisy.
Yeah,
I
okay.
find that a little strange because that is a lot
Their
of
name.
kids' names are
Yeah.
called Daisy. And then
Yeah.
you're like I would never go up to a kid and go, oh, what's Daisy short for? And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
holiday. I'd be like, well, her name's Daisy after the flower.
But I do also like a name with an interesting story because it's like we all like fun facts.
Yes.
We need them a lot in our lives, especially if you're in corporate
100p.
or going to be dating. Like a fun fact name is also like, when I know it was a con, but when my sister tricked you for over a year that her name was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Like that was a fun thing.
Yeah.
You
It
were like,
was.
you loved it.
I
you
did.
delighted in and sure, you would like, you might never go like, what's it short for? But, it was like a fun story.
I literally said to your sister, is Lou short? Lou's, I said it like this, Lou's short for Louise, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, just as deadpan as you can be, as
Without
quick as you
skipping
can
a
be.
beat.
Yeah. No, Elizabeth, Jem. And I was like, oh my God, not Elizabeth. Elizabeth. I've
Elizabeth.
never heard that before. Wild.
So I think if you've got a little story, that just makes you an interesting person.
Totally.
It's like people who go by their middle names. It's like, oh, but actually, my name's Joanne. But it's like, what? I don't know. It's
Totally.
kind of fun. I find there's like a bit of a lifeness about it.
Yeah.
But boy-wise,
Yep.
I always really love, and it's interesting, lucky I didn't sort of procreate with Americano because I would have leaned so hard into, I really like those, what I call like golf club American boy names. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
Flip, Trip, Skip. Like I
Oh.
love those kind of like
Are
new,
they
new
golf
money
club?
sailing
Oh,
names.
Interesting. Because my initial thought was like your Prestons, like those kinds of names.
Less that and more the nickname version of a rich man's name. So Teddy's
Yeah.
middle name is Skip.
Yes.
And that's really more because he's our Aussie baby. We had a Scottish baby and an Aussie baby and he's our Aussie. So we thought Skip, like Skippy. But it's really because I just love those Skip, Flip, Trip, like those American kind of like, yeah.
Every time I hear the
collegiate
name
names.
Trip, I think of Virgin Suicides.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
great book.
hot.
Oh,
was
the
that
movie.
Josh Hartnett?
It was.
Oh, Josh
Yeah.
as Trip.
All right. So you've still got your baby name lists?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, if I had a girl tomorrow, I would probably call her Holiday or Sadie, but then I want everyone to call her Holiday. Well, how do we feel about Holly as a nickname?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's cute. I agree.
But you're going to call her Holly. You're not going to call her Holiday. Like you'll call her Holiday when you drop her off at daycare and when she's in trouble.
Totally.
Holiday.
Holiday. Well, Rafa loves her whole name, Rafaela. That's how she introduces herself, and no one calls her that. It always gets shortened to Rafa or Rafi to some people. Would you like to hear?
Yes, I would. Is this from 2018?
It's actually not.
Oh.
This is the list that I made for fun in my mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Vintage.
Yeah, like when you play that game of like, if I had
Yeah.
and do you know what? It's funny. I was chatting to my gorgeous au pair, Amber, and she was like, of course we all have baby name lists in our phone, in our notes. Who doesn't? And I was like, oh my God, I definitely would have, because it's like, when you're a kid and you do imaginary play and you play mermaids or whatever it may be, you always want, like, my favorite part of the game was naming my character. Or suggesting names for my friends. Anyway, I was revisiting this list and it makes me laugh. Here they are. So girls' names. I had Winter.
Beautiful. I love it.
Loved
Winnie.
the name Winter. Love Winnie. So I always think about the nickname, and Winnie is such a cute
Beautiful
nickname.
name. Why isn't that more of a thing now?
Yeah.
Let's make it one. Someone
Name
who's
their
pregnant.
kid
Call your kid Winnie.
Yes, because Summer has become such a popular name, and it's a
Yes,
great
We
name.
have 2 summer pod babies.
We sure do in our office.
Winnie reminds me of the Wonder Years.
Yes, that's why I loved it, because
Yes.
I loved Kevin and Winnie.
Oh,
Their love was so pure and sweet. Those
Winnie.
cute names. Yeah, Winnie.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And being Winter as a woman, amazing.
Yeah. Feels like a
Win.
force, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had Odette,
Love.
and I thought the nickname Odie is quite cute
Love it.
as
And
well.
it's Swan Lake.
It is Swan Lake,
Mhm.
Odette and Odile. I also had the name, and we had a girl who was in years above us at school with this name, and I've always loved it, Alfira.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Stevie, which I've also
Do you like
always
the name
loved.
Stevie
She
for a
was
girl?
so cool.
No, do you remember
Alfira.
Alfie?
Nope.
Really?
I don't remember her. How did I not know her?
Oh,
How did you know her?
I don't know. I looked up to her. Like, we must have been in year 8 when she was in year 12.
What was she into?
Like art and performing. Yeah. Like costume design.
I
And,
don't remember her.
oh my God. Anyway, Alfie. I love that name. Then I've got Rafaela, but weirdly, because this
Spelled
is
the
my
other way.
spelt with a PH.
Yeah, because of Rafa Nadal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, old Gem loved it spelt this way. And under Rafaela, Sadie.
Oh.
Then I have Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Yep. No, you're not into that?
I'm not as into the cities.
Isn't that interesting?
Because
Fine
do you know what
with
it makes me
months
think?
And days
Do you
of
know
the
what
week.
it makes me think? You fucked in Berlin. This baby is a fucking. I mean, all babies are a fucking. Obviously, I know that. But like, I think of Brooklyn Beckham. And I'm like, yeah, they conceived him in Brooklyn.
Or maybe
Clap.
they didn't.
They did. That's their whole
Oh,
story.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm like, use your imagination.
Oh, I love city names. Like, I
Okay.
love the name Adelaide. I like
Oh,
names
yeah.
like Montana, which is a state in the US, like, or a city. Oh, don't quote me on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I love city names. Like London is such a cool name.
Okay, yes, I like that one.
So
We also
I
have
had,
a London pod baby, so I've
We
just
do.
stepped in it.
but I do. I just think Berlin's such a cool name. And
What's
also
the nickname? Lynn.
Burley? I don't know.
Burley.
Yeah, it's not great. Doesn't lend itself to a great amount of nickname. Berlin for me is so rich in the culture of arts, and that's kind of why I like
More
it.
galleries than London, Paris, and
Yes.
somewhere else combined. Rome
Yeah.
combined.
So it's a bit of, I guess, like a creative nod
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Berlin.
Plus the Bergheim.
Then I've got Pepper.
Yes. Now, explain why you could never have a Pepper.
Pepper was genuinely
If that,
on my
that
short
was what
list.
I would have thought you were always going to call your kid. In
Yeah.
school, you talked about it like it was like, you will have a Pepper, and then you married Mr. Rooney.
Yeah, and you can't have pepperoni. The funniest thing was, DLs, I shared this name list with Revz once, and I hadn't even connected the dots. And Revz like burst out laughing, and I was like, "What? I love the name Pepper." She's like, "Babe, you can't call your kid Pepper." And I was like, "Why?"
Why?
And then you were like, "Pepperoni,"
Pepperoni.
and I still didn't get it. I was like, "Yeah, it's a cool name," and you're like,
Pepperoni.
What do you put on
It's like
pizza, babe?
calamari.
"Yeah, Callum Murray." Sailor.
Yeah, love.
which was
And
very
actually really would have suited Rafa.
yes, that was very nearly Rafa's name. That was in our top 3 shortlist for Raf, and then it got dropped at the last minute. I also
What would her nickname have been? Say?
again, I don't know, and I think this is why I don't lean into these
Yeah.
names ultimately.
You are such a nicknamer. I don't know you. I've never heard you call anyone their actual name.
Never. It's my love language because it's an endearment when you are like, you know what, we're close now.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
need
yeah.
a nickname.
Yeah.
Percy for a girl with
cute.
just
for a girl.
yeah, just with an I. Perci, Percy.
That's really unique. I like that.
Yeah. Octavia, I've always loved. We also had a little girl at our school called Octavia. She was actually a younger sister of someone in our year. And I just thought, what a fucking sick
Very
name.
Shakespearean too.
Very Shakespearean. But I was always mindful of the destiny of particular characters in Shakespeare.
They're all met an untimely
well,
end.
I mean, we all love the name Ophelia. Like, it's beautiful. But, you
She
know.
goes crazy.
She does.
and drowns.
Exactly. It's just too dark. And then rounding off the list, this was also in the top 3 was Scarlet until someone ruined that name in a playground for me. And I actually love the name Scarlet. But yeah, this dad just continuously yelled
Barked
at
it.
his daughter Scarlet over and over. You know when you can tell a parent has no tools other than to just yell their kids on loop?
Very generous of you to say parent.
But
and not
he-
dad.
Dad. Well, he just yelled, Scarlet, Scarlet, Scarlet.
Well,
And I remember being in the playground pregnant and being like, you're ruining this name for me. I love it so much. Please
okay,
stop.
if you are considering a baby name, you have to run it through the get in the car test or the backdoor test.
Yeah.
You know, you have to yell the name followed by get in the car.
Yes.
So go on.
Scarlet, get in the car.
Do you still like it?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
It's-
Then it's good. And
It's
the thing
fine
is-
when I yell the name. It's just this dad's particular tone and voice. He had a grunt in his voice,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Shut up, this
Yeah.
poor kid.
Yeah.
Try a different tactic.
Well,
Try
she's
ano-
clearly tuning him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've got to follow it by get in the car. Isla, get in the car. Fine.
Isla is a hard one to bastardize.
It is.
You can't. You actually. It's such a beautiful
It
name.
used to be that people didn't know how to say it, but now it's quite common.
Yeah.
People would say Isla because
Oh, yeah,
that's how
yeah.
you know if you've been traveling. It's
Yeah.
the island of wherever. Isla.
Isla Fisher was the one who first introduced me to that
People
name.
still called her Isla Fisher for
they?
years. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
they didn't get it.
Yeah.
I remember when she was a baby, a couple of like doctor's appointments, they'd be like, Isla? And I was like, really? But now I think everyone knows the name Isla.
My husband was desperate to call Rafa Neve,
That's
but
right.
spelt
Neve.
Niamha, which is
Beautiful
Niamh.
and Celtic.
Yes, and I was like, I love the name Neve. I think it's beautiful, but I like if we were to consider Neve, and Raf is so not a Neve, like we're not spelling it the Celtic way because I just don't want to subject her to that. I'm sorry if your daughter's called Neve and spelt Niamha, but it wasn't for me. I grew up.
It's
with
because you've got tricky names.
Yes, I
Yeah.
grew up like the other day. Someone casually was going around the circle going, "Hey, what's your maiden name?" to people, and everyone's like, "Oh, you know, it's Robertson or it's Peters or whatever." And it got to me, and I deadpan just went Chumsaina Yutia. They were like,
Huh?
I was like, "Now you know why I changed my surname." All right, moving on to boys.
Yes.
River was obviously the name that I desperately wanted to call Iggy, but I couldn't get buy-in from my husband. It was too whimsical for him, and it would actually really suit him. So Iggy's at the top of my list. Second on my list, Revz,
This is from your 20s.
Mhm.
Wow.
is Kit.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, you campaigned hard for Kit
I did.
and you couldn't get it over the line, but now you have your nephew.
His name is Kit.
Yeah,
and I
it's
nearly
beautiful.
fell off my chair when I learnt his name with delight
Yes.
because obviously I was done having babies and I was like, oh my God, I get a nephew called Kit.
It's a gorgeous name.
Also on my list, Otis.
Yeah.
Which is very popular.
Well, my friend has a Kit and an Otis.
Really?
Same family.
Oh my gosh, great
Yeah.
names. Love the name Otis. I've also got Griffin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Griff is in that vein of
Even
that
though Peter
Trips
Griffin exists.
and Gryffindor as a house. Peter Griffin.
You could be named after Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
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 Griff. And Griff has like trip
Yeah.
vibes,
Sure.
energy.
But
Then
what if he's a sweet, gentle soul?
and it's called Griffin. Then
Then
he might be Finn.
Finn.
Or Finny. Oh, I love the name
Cute.
Finn. And then rounding out my list, I actually had Banjo.
Yeah. Banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know a banjo. It's a cool
Yeah,
name.
it's a cool name.
Yeah.
Banjo Patterson.
Mhm.
Yeah, I loved everything about the name Banjo. But yeah, if I had a son tomorrow, what would I call him? Like you, Revz, I find boy names extremely hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine a little baby in my arms. What would I call him? I look down and your name is, I want to say Kit, but it can't be Kit.
Oh, it can be.
No, it can't be.
My cousin
Stop.
named his child
Stop.
Teddy.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
As
he
in
did.
Theodore or
Well, I
Edward?
assume his wife named him because she's not my cousin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh, well, there you go. No, he's Edward,
But
he's not Edward. He's Teddy.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a great name.
Yeah,
no
and
one
because-
owns names.
No one owns names, and because he's Reeves, it's
Yeah.
Teddy Reeves.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
So you can do whatever the fuck you want. My sister's best friend was like, did this whole pitch to me basically when she had her Isla, and I was like, babe, you don't have to ask. I don't own the name
Yeah.
Isla. Like, and you know, like same with Teddy's.
And
like,
you can't feel entitled to names
fuck
either.
no. Sure. Look, if you called your child Chrysler, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of something that
Yeah.
is a name.
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. Just say you called your kid Chrysanthemum and then someone called their kid Chrysanthemum, you'd be like, right,
Yeah, but and they're in your inner circle.
sure, yeah. Or even in your outer circle, but just in your orbit. You'd be like, wild, okay. But
Yeah.
I would be flattered. I don't quite understand when people get
Funny.
funny
I'm the
or
same as you.
territorial or
Yeah.
like around baby names. I get it if you're pregnant and you've shared and then they're like 2 months ahead of you and they use your name.
Oh.
But even then, I would still forge ahead with my name
Yeah.
because you may not be friends with that person in 3-5 years' time.
Yeah.
Or you have 2 Eloises. Who cares, you know?
I remember when a friend of mine was pregnant and she gate kept the name because she was scared that I might steal it. And I was like, anyway. And then she was relieved when I had Iggy. What? What's it?
Say that again.
Why?
Just to hear how crazy it is. Say it again.
No.
I had a friend
Who gate kept their baby name.
because you were pregnant at the same time.
Yeah, that
And
was-
she thought you might steal it.
Yeah.
That's insane. The whole thing's
I
insane.
know. It's wild.
What was the name?
Freddie?
Oh,
Yeah. I know.
okay.
I had an Iggy instead. I know, it's so
It's
funny.
it's not a unique name.
No, it's not. But back on like asking permission to name a kid, a gorgeous mum from my OG mothers group when I was living in Manly, I remember because obviously I had Rafa and she had her little boy and that's how we met. But she went on to have 3 kids and she messaged me like years after being like, hey, Jem, I hope you don't mind, but I'm pregnant with another boy and I really want to call him Rafa, but he'll be Raphael. And actually I might try and nickname him Rafi.
I don't understand.
And I remember
I don't understand.
I remember writing back being like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, you did not have to ask me this question at all. And if you're asking for my blessing, you have my blessing. But like, you can call him
Wild.
whatever you want. Like, I remember feeling quite shocked. But this is one of those people who is sweet as honey, doesn't have a bad bone in her body, like uber considerate. The most,
Yeah.
imagine the most
It is
considerate
very
person.
considerate.
Very considerate, very sweet. But I was embarrassed that maybe she thought I was someone who would care because I totally don't
No.
care.
I
Like
think this is a thing for people or it's not.
Yeah.
But like how simple would it be to just live in a small town in Russia where everyone's called Irina or Masha or Sergey
Fyodor.
or Fyodor? It's like, it's very simple. But we've got to remember that's what we go back to. That's why these old tribal names are what they are. Is because
Yeah.
there used to be like 5 names and you
So
just
funny.
picked one. You know, it was that time for someone to be Maria. So it's Maria now because we had a Francesca last week and this week it's a Maria, you
Well,
know?
imagine being born into the royal family in the UK because you
Imagine.
cannot deviate
Yeah.
from the collection of traditional royal baby names. So that's why they did this whole poll on what Prince William and Kate Middleton were going to call their child because,
And how, what
you
a
know,
letdown.
well, there was
It's
only
like,
a selection.
And
Well,
his
you
name
know,
was what?
Charles, Louis, not Charles,
Louis.
George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis,
Yeah.
like, you know, they're those
There's
names.
only so many.
But let me ask you, Revzy, would you like to know 2024's, not 2025, because obviously we're only halfway through this year, most popular
Yes, I love these lists.
birth names?
Yes.
Starting with boys. I've got
Wait, Australia?
Australia
Yes,
specific,
okay.
because that's our biggest listenership, and I've got the top 10 of each gender. Would you like boys or girls?
Let's start with boys because we find them so hard.
Okay, in position number 10, this surprised me. Elijah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know. Go figure.
Great.
Elijah's making
Where's
a comeback.
that come from?
I don't know. Is it biblical?
Oh, yeah, sounds it.
Yeah, Elijah. Number 9, Lucas.
Yep. That's kind of like Luke has been hanging around for many years.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Lucas is number 9. Number 8, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's also been there for a while.
Rafa knows a few Charlies.
I think Charlie and Charlotte are always on the charts.
They're never not.
Never not.
They're
They're
the
lovely
most
names.
evergreen names ever.
Yeah.
Number 7, Hudson.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Yep, that tracks.
That tracks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Number 6, and I've got a few friends with kids of this name, Leo.
Leo.
Yep.
Great, strong, solid, but cool modern name.
I could see myself with a son called Leo.
I could see you with a
Except
Leo.
I'd call him Leonardo.
Well, yes, you would, because you have Italian children.
Raffaella.
No Italian in
and
Jem's
Leonardo.
family on either side, but she has these like Sistine Chapel children.
I do. Leonardo and Raffaella.
And,
then,
Ignatius.
and then I'll need a Michelangelo and a Donatella.
You've got the Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And number 5, Henry.
Yeah, lovely. Beautiful. Beautiful name.
Number 4, here we go. What you were saying before, Luca.
Luca, yeah.
Yes.
Charting for ages.
Yes, massively popular.
Hilarious. Though none of us are Italian.
Number 3, Theodore.
Hey.
What's the origins of Theodore?
It's actually Fyodor, Russian,
yeah.
is the Russian etymology
Yeah,
of
right.
Theodore.
With all your Russian heritage.
He's not called Fyodor.
No, he's not, but he's Theodore. Number 2, which was number 1 when I was in the midst of naming Rafa and Iggy, but has now lost its top pole position and has slipped to number 2, Oliver.
Yeah, but Oliver was around another chart topper.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yes.
It's a beautiful name.
But it sustained that first position
Yep.
for quite a few years when we were
Yes.
naming, in the era where
Uh-huh.
you and I were naming our kids. What do you think number 1 is?
Oh, Hunter or something like that. Oh, no, it's going to be more traditional. Noah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Is it Noah?
It's Noah.
Beautiful name. And it'll have another go around thanks to Nobody Wants This.
Noah takes a top spot. Also, Noah is growing in popularity as a girl's name.
NOA.
NOA
Yeah.
or NOAH in some cases.
I feel like Noah and Leo are heartthrobs as our kids. As when we were young
Yes.
women. You
Yeah.
know, Noah from The Notebook
of course.
and Leo DiCaprio.
Hunji P.
Yeah. All right, girls.
Number 10, Evelyn.
Yep. Eve.
Eve.
Yeah.
Very popular
No
name.
one's calling their kid Evelyn around.
Well, I don't know. You don't
Around?
reckon?
No, not around.
Okay.
Evelyn, get in the car. It's not happening.
But they're called
Eve.
Evie.
Yeah.
Evie,
Yeah.
Eve. Okay, Evelyn. Number 9, Sophia. This is another, I would put this in
Charter.
This, yes,
Yep.
like Charlotte and Charlie, those
Yep.
sorts of names. Evergreen. Sophia.
Which spelling?
PH.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Would you go PH or F given the choice?
I like a classic spelling.
Which
I know
is-
you like
which
a remix.
is what? PH?
PH, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go the F.
You like, of course.
well,
you
because
would.
Rafa
So
is
different.
with F.
Zesty.
Yeah. Number 8, a name I know you love, Hazel.
Hazel. It's
Beautiful
beautiful.
name.
It is shooketh me. Has shooketh me that it's in the charts.
Yes, Hazel.
Yeah.
Very popular. I got
Yeah.
a neighbor across the road. Her daughter's called Hazel. Very sweet. Rafa calls all her baby dolls Hazel. It's her favorite name for a baby.
Makes me think of Nutella.
Hazelnut.
Delicious.
Yes. Number 7. This won't surprise you. Harper.
Yeah.
Beautiful name. Was on a lot of people's lists, I'd
It was
say.
a celebrity baby. Someone had a Harper in our era.
And taking the position of number 6, I'm looking over to producer Kate.
Summer.
Nope.
Chloe.
Chloe.
Chloe. What spelling? C?
CHLOE.
Yeah, okay.
Chloe. And then taking up position number 5, I'm looking over to Revzy.
Isla?
Isla
Really?
has dropped
Oh.
from the top 3 list.
Is it a charter?
It was a charter for quite a few years.
okay.
Actually was in the top 3
Ugh,
and now
so
it's
basic.
dropped down to top 5.
Hate it. Hate that both my kids' names are on the list. Hate it.
Yeah, you got to give DL some context around that and your own name.
Oh, well, I'm Kate.
Yeah.
You know, so there were 9 Kates in my year. I work with a Kate.
Yeah.
In fact, I everything with a Kate. I've got a school mum friend Kate. I work with a Kate.
Everyone knows a Kate.
Everyone knows. No, everyone knows Kate's, and it's like
So true.
It's a credit card name. It is the fucking Oliver of our era. You know, everyone is called Kate. And I was Kate R my entire life. Producer Kate's a bit more interesting because
Her
she's
name's been
Katerina.
remixed, yeah.
She's Katerina. I'm not Catherine. I'm not
Why-
Katie. I'm nothing.
Producer
I'm Kate.
Kate, why don't you go by the name Kat? It's such a cool
Jill,
name.
watch it. She's rebranding you. Producer Kat.
My family used to call me Katie.
yeah.
And then when I went to high school, I rebranded because Kate is so much cooler than Katie.
Katie, yeah. I agree.
I don't know. I like Katie.
I have only 3 or 4 people in my entire life call me Katie. Yeah, it's very familiar.
But wait, don't you think Kat is cool? Like, I'd love to be called Kat.
You would.
Well,
Black
then
cat.
When I went to university, that's when I was called Katerina. So maybe in the nursing home, I could be Kat.
Or Rena. How about Rena? Rena!
That
Get in the car!
that doesn't pass the Bogan test. All right. Moving along to position number 4, Mia.
You're doing a lot of fanfare with this list.
Why
It's like
not?
the end of the segment.
Why not?
What's number 4?
Mia.
Mia.
Yes.
Yeah, that tracks. We know a lot of Mias. A lot of Mias in Isla's year.
Or Myers.
Or Myers.
I've met
Beautiful.
a few Myers as well.
And Mayas.
No.
Yep.
As well?
I know a couple.
Maya.
Mia, Maya, Maya.
Did they?
Sounds like a vocal warm-up.
Question.
Mia, Maya, 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 mo.
Mayo, mo. Mayo, mayo, mayonnaise. Remember that from our choir days? Question. Does Maya spell it M-A-Y-A like Maya?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. So that's one of those.
Yeah. In my first mother's group, we had Isla, Alia, Ayla, and there was another one. There were all those you always have to sort of check with the
Yeah,
pronunciation.
Fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're moving into the top 3 now, folks. Taking in the 3rd
The
spot.
suspense you're drumming up for an end.
Fun. Do you want me to be vanilla about it and just read
What's
them
3?
out? Olivia!
I'm just thinking of the DLs who are like, I'm never naming a baby again. And this whole episode is baby names. Olivia. That's a classic. That's the Oliver of the
100p.
girls.
And number 2, Amelia.
Oh, okay. Now she's punishing me. She's doing a deadpan dry
And number 1 is Charlotte.
Yes, yes.
There we go.
Amelia still. That blows my mind.
Yeah, me too.
It's really stuck in there.
When I think
Millie?
about Rafa's group, I actually can't think of
I
an
know
Amelia.
one Amelia,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's not it's not in my orbit at all.
But they're often called meals or mills.
Yeah.
Millie.
Are they? Millie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So number 2, that's quite
Wow.
But we have to remember these are babies born literally last year.
Yeah.
So they're either 1 or like
yeah. Or
7 months old or
Totally.
whatever. So Amelia has had a
Yeah.
massive comeback.
Oh, it's been there for ages. It was there when I was naming Isla for sure.
Was it?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a beautiful name.
Beautiful.
Amelia. And Charlotte, of course. I mean, hugely
Charlotte
popular.
and Oliver.
Yeah.
It does blow my mind how we're still pretty conservative.
We are.
You know, like that's so British royal family, Charlotte and Oliver, isn't it?
Well, I think names, there's a 2 types of people situation here
Yeah.
with traditional names versus I'm going to go a little bit off piste.
Mm.
I think it's a real personality type. Like I always knew I was never going to give my kids traditional names, and I had to kind of convince Hubs to get on board more my wagon.
Oh my God, tell the deals about the app you used. It was like a dating app. This is
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
Yes.
So Jem and her hubs
Oh.
could not agree on names. So they got this app and it's like a dating app. You put in all your baby names and then it sends it drip feeds.
Yes,
Yeah.
it drip feeds you baby names, and then you swipe right if you like it,
Yeah.
and you swipe left if you don't.
And Jem was thrilled because she was like, oh my God, we're getting so many matches.
Yeah.
And then they worked out that
he was swiping the,
the wrong way. He missed the mechanic
Yeah.
of which ones you like or don't like. So they
Yes.
actually had no matches.
Yeah, Hubs was like, oh my God, we matched on Eliza. I was like, Eliza? I was like, that wasn't on my list. He's like, yeah, we matched. I was like, hang on a second.
Oh, what's going on here?
Anyway.
There
lessons
should
learned.
be more dating app style things for couple disagreements, don't you reckon? Like what's have for dinner even? How good would that be if you just got like a little update at like lunchtime?
I reckon there will be one. Don't
What do you want for
think?
dinner? It's like frink roulette. Hub says
Yeah.
chicken.
I hear there's like sex game apps now where you
Oh.
can kind of like Tinder, where
Yeah.
it'll give you positions or,
Oh,
to blindfold or.
okay. And you can say if you're into it or not.
Well, I guess you swipe. I'd give
Mm.
that a go, and then you kind of get matched up on your kinks.
oh,
you know?
that's fun.
Yeah, it's clever.
In the
There's-
relationship you're already in, or is it for new things? Or is it to find people?
No. It's for your relationship. It's like if
Right.
you want to spice up your sex life, and then there's like little drawings of different types of sex positions or toys, or if
Yeah.
you're into anal play, and it's basically your way of expressing what your interests are. Whilst also figuring out, we match on this weird kink that we were never able to articulate or felt
Yeah.
comfortable to share.
But also gives you a one level of buffer to be like, no, I don't want to do that. Please don't ask me.
100p. I think it's a win.
Yeah, there's nothing more terrifying to me than the sentence, "What are your fantasies?" Like, no,
Does
don't
it
make
give you
me.
the ick?
I don't like dirty talk. I don't like to vocalize sex stuff.
Yeah, right. Why?
I don't know. I find it a block. Like, I'm like, it takes me out of the body. You know, we've discussed this.
So for Revs, like sex is entirely visceral.
Yeah.
It's not a cerebral exercise.
No,
For
not
me,
at all. I
it's-
leave my brain. My brain
Yeah.
goes on a little holiday. I'm not in my head at all.
For me, it's absolutely both. And the cerebral part is the turn on as well.
Yeah.
So I love a bit of pillow talk.
Yeah.
In fact, I love quite a lot of pillow talk. Sorry, we're going off topic now.
This might be another topic for another day. You know what Jem has time for? Pillow talk.
I
Or
do.
what is now in 2025 called dirty talk.
Yeah,
Pillow talk.
I know.
So cute.
I know, the Catholic in me. Look, I'll say dirty talk when I'm in the throes of passion, but outside of it, I'm like, no, it's got to be pillow talk.
Intimate chat.
Yeah, intimate chat. I like that.
Before we go,
Hear me with your nut spawn.
I have a not spawn that I'm scared to say, and Rachel Tag will be mad at me for saying it because it actually sells out and it's really hard to get.
Oh no.
But it's so delicious and I love it so much. Cocobella, coconut water, are now doing.
Oh no. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Oh, she's got notes, I can tell. She's
Oh,
got her
I'll-
notes face
I
on.
won't say anything.
Chocolate coconut water. It's fucking delicious. It is often sold out. So when I see it, I am that jerk who grabs like 3 or 4, keeps it in the cupboard. It is so yummy. And obviously it's coconut water, so it's got all the good things. Go on. Now's your moment.
No, it's fine. I've tried it. I'm not into it. But someone gave me a glass full of it and was like, Jem, this is so your jam. You love chocolate milk. You love coconut water.
Oh, it's nothing like chocolate milk.
Hey, presto, look what's been invented. And I went, oh my God. And then I drank it and I was like, no.
It's not like
This
chocolate
is
milk.
its own category.
Yeah, it's
Like,
its own thing.
It is.
I use it as a smoothie base. And it's very yummy with banana. And
I
all
can
then
see
all the
it
things.
working really well in that
Choc
capacity.
banana.
Yeah, that's a vibe. But yeah, just to drink solo, I was like, for me, it was giving artificial chocolate flavor.
Yeah. Well,
You know, like
yes.
those banana lollies that you love, where it's like they're not made of banana, but it's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fake banana
Sure.
flavor. That's kind of what I had. I was like, it's fake coffee.
It would make-
it's fake chocolate. Do you know what Cocobella have released though that I do really want to try? Is their coconut coffee? I feel
Ooh.
like I could get behind that
Well,
a bit
I was
more.
going to say you would probably like an iced coffee made with the Cocobella chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, if
that'd
it's
be
like
good.
in like a more of that vibe.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? My favorite thing about chocolate milk is the thickness of the milk.
You
It's
like
the
the milk.
creaminess.
Yeah.
Like I'm a full cream milk gal.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
a soy. I'm not an
Yeah, you're a
almond.
cow
I'm
juice
not a
girl.
skim.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Give me all the cow juice. So
Sorry,
that was my
vegans.
problem with the chocolate coconut water. It was just too like light. You
Well,
know?
I love
too
it.
liquidy.
If you come across it in the supermarket, congrats. Get one. Try it in your smoothie. Freaking delicious. My kids don't like it. I was thinking, this is great. They'll think they're having a glass of chocolate milk, but it's not.
It's so
They
not
won't.
that. You got to
Yeah.
get that out of your head.
Yeah.
It's like flavored coconut water.
Yeah.
It's more that than erring towards the dairy family. It's just so far off that.
Anyway, I like it. What's your not spot?
And Rachel Tag likes it apparently.
What's your not spot? Hit me with it.
Oh, she's not in a sing-song mood. I don't get my songstress. My not spawn is something that you would enjoy buying yourself, but also would make for an incredible gift. It's a quartz jewelry tray. It's resin, and it's basically, if you imagine it's sort of in a long arched shape, and then it's got all these little niches, shallow
yeah, nice.
niches
Nice.
of different shapes and sizes. So some are long, so you can put a necklace in. Some
pretty.
are perfect for rings, and it's made out of this beautiful quartz resin, and it's so.
What is quartz resin?
I don't know, but I
Wow.
had to look this up on the website because I was like, "What is this material?"
Like they put quartz in the resin?
I guess it's quite textured. It's
Yeah.
pretty.
Like terrazzo-y vibes?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so they must crush up the
but
quartz and put it in
sandstone
resin.
coloured.
Okay.
Anyway, it's from this website. It's called White Picket Fence. It's a $40 gift, which I thought was really good.
Nice.
And that's for the big size. They also do like miniature, smaller ones if you just want a small tray. Anyway, it's lovely for your bedside table
Gorgeous
or
guest
if you
room.
or your guest bedroom, or if you have like a dresser. I have one at Cocobella that I bought recently as an add-on to the master bedroom as a place to put some jewelry. But yeah, I just think they're so pretty, and
Lovely.
it's like a gift that you would give a friend, and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I wanted this,
Totally.
but I own jewelry. I need to put it somewhere, and it's nice. It's a nice drop and go or grab and go of your everyday jewelry. If you're someone who
Lovely.
doesn't sleep in their jewelry, because I know that's a two types of people
That's
thing
me.
as well.
I sleep in everything.
Do you?
Yeah. That's why I like gimme stuff. So
Okay.
comfortable.
Well, we went all over the place in today's episode, but DLs, thank you for being here with us. Just another quick nudge reminder to get your tickets to our live show.
Quick! I don't want you to be sad if you come to Jesus in like 3 weeks and they're all gone.
And as always, we'll be back in your ears bright and early on Friday with the Bestie Hotline.
See you there.
Bye-bye.